Hey guys, welcome back to Mustang Diaries, my series on the training and transformation of two wild Mustangs. In my last video, I worked with Mustang Freeda, giving her her first bath and loading her on the trailer for the first time. Today is going to be a lot of firsts for Libby, her first time out of the pen, first time loading the trailer, first bath, and first time walking on the road. So you're going to see a lot of exciting new things for Libby in this video. Let's start with getting outside of the round pen. This is her very first time out of the round pen. Truthfully, the reason why I had her out of the round pen was because I wanted to practice loading. We decided to sell this horse trailer while the market was hot and got a buyer almost instantly. So I only had this day to practice with. So that's why we are loading today. So I did go into this session pretty open-handed, knowing that this is her very first time out of the pen, and I wouldn't have been disappointed at all if she didn't load on this day. So what I'm doing is very lightly asking her to come forward, and then each time she steps forward, I give her a big release. So now I'm just kind of tucking myself a little bit out of the way and then continue asking her to come forward. And she goes off to the side, and I don't want that. I want her to be squarely facing into the trailer, so I just try to straighten her out and try again. Of course, it's really easy to get kind of tangled up in the equipment, so I'm really just fumbling around here. There I just pushed her 4/4 out of my way and then let her have a quick snack just to relax a bit, and then I try again. So one thing that's really important is for me to not get in a tug of war. So you can see whenever she gives me any momentum in the correct direction towards the trailer, I give her a release. I really do not want to pressure her to loading that trailer. And whenever she puts her head down like this, I give her plenty of time to process and think about it and check it out. I never want to rush those moments because she's just needing to do her own little safety check there. That's Truffle right there, who just jumped into the trailer. These goats are always hanging out with the horses, so she's pretty used to them, although they are being pretty unhelpful as I'm trying to load. So we just saw her put her first foot on the ramp. By the way, I should mention that this is not actually a trailer that's meant for wild Mustangs. This is me gentling her and teaching her how to load, but you would never be able to pick up a wild horse with a trailer like this with the ramps. Ramps are not recommended with wild horses, but because she has been gentled, this is me introducing her to the domesticated world. So again, I'm just trying to keep her head pointing forward. And every time she steps forward, I give a big release and let her sniff, smell, think, process, whatever she needs to do. And then I'm putting very, very light pressure on her halter and then big release when she steps forward. Okay guys, I just have to say, how impressive is this little horse? This is largely her personality you're seeing. You're seeing how just chill and laid back she is. This is her very first time out of the round pen. She was out for like 3 minutes, and then we started practicing trailer loading. And this is now about 4.5 minutes into that practice. And look at that. She loaded. I went back and checked the time on my camera to see how long it took, and it was 4.5 minutes to get her on this trailer. So impressive. This horse is amazing. All right, so while she's on there, I let her just relax and rest and just chill with her. I rubbed her, I scratched her. I really want these moments in the trailer just to be nice and relaxing and be sure that I'm not asking anything of her. Speaking of relaxing, the goats were anything but relaxing, so I decided to close the doors of the trailer just so we'd have a little bit more peace inside. So Libby is one of those horses that is really happy to just quietly stand around all day. As you can see, with all of these goats just kind of coming in and out, she's very chill around them. They're always underneath her. They walk under her belly. They chew on her tail. She's very much used to it. But yeah, so she's really happy to stand around. If you remember, she was in holding for 2 years before I adopted her. Here I'm just asking her to get off, which she does so very beautifully. But she was in holding for 2 years, and now she's in a round pen with a little addition. So not a lot of space, and that's not been very helpful for her developing her muscle tone, in addition to her just being such a quiet and really a couch potato of a horse. So hopefully when she gets more domesticated, she'll be out in pasture, larger pasture, have a more consistent work schedule, and just be able to bulk up a little bit. And so I'm asking her to get on the trailer for the second time, and didn't take a lot of convincing to get her on. So amazing, absolutely amazing. This horse she is gold. Okay, so I'm now gonna unload her and load her a few times. I really make it a practice. I actually love loading. I love the process of teaching a horse to load, and I love just practicing it. It's one of my favorite things to work on. But yeah, we're just gonna be loading. I really want her to have nice positive experiences each time she loads. I never try to rush this. Even if a horse does load, I always try to unload it and then reload it. I really don't like just locking them up right away. And now I'm just loading in a variety of different ways. So I'm trying to work on self-loading, which if I had my trailer for more days, I think I'd practice and she'd really get the hang of it. And then we just load this time with the divider right down the middle, and she walked on just fine. So we call that a day. Okay, so today Libby is about to get her first bath. And before I introduce her to the water, I just want to do a little bit of desensitizing. So you see I have my tarp here, and I'm just kind of slowly flapping it near her. She's a pretty non-reactive horse. She's never really spooked much at hardly anything, so this wasn't a huge deal. She's obviously a little weirded out by it. And of course, little Freeda, she had just had her bath. That was last week's video. She just had her bath, and now she has to take a roll.
Don't worry.
She is so stinking cute. I love her so much. And of course, in the horse rule book, if you roll on one side, you have to roll on the other side. So Freeda did a good job at making sure she got both sides. Since she was being so cute just chilling there, I decided just to go over and see if she'd let me pet her. I've never actually touched her while she's laying down, so that was really cool that she let me do that. And of course, she kicked the tire. So then I go to work on Libby's left side and just do that for a little bit. And then we move towards her first bath. So I put the hose on a very light sprinkle, and that's how I introduced it to her. And I'm trying to remove the hose before she moves. I also start with her shoulder, and then I move along her back, and then I'll start introducing the more sensitive areas. So I just turned the hose up a little bit, and again I start over. I had been working on the neck, so I went back to working on that. And then I up it a little bit more. And then I go back to that shoulder. And again, I try to have her stand, and then I remove it, and then just keep doing that over and over again. And honestly, I wish she's being good, but I wish I kept removing it even more frequently than I did. Today is one of the last warm days of the season, so I'm probably not going to be able to do this again until springtime. So we're really just squeezing this in. And she got a little nervous and confused when I started to spray her hindquarters. I waited for her to stop moving, and then I removed the hose. And then now I approach it again with the water, and she's standing still for me. I should have removed it there, but for some reason I kept going. And I'm going with her. I'm trying to give her plenty of slack. And once she stops moving, then I release it. So she did really well for the rest of this session. I do think that in the spring she'll have to work on this again. I just wanted to use this last warm day as a chance to have exposure to this kind of experience, but she's by no means mastered bathing, so she'll need more practice in the springtime for sure. So remember that desensitizing that I did with the tarp before her bath? Well, here it is into a practical sense. Here I'm using the towel just to dry her body off after her bath. I did not have my sweat scraper with me here, so that was a bummer, and so I had to just towel her off instead. So now you've seen her first time out of the pen, her first time loading, her first bath, And now you're going to see her first time on a walk down the road.
Does not care. That was a lot. A tarp, a bath, a walk.
Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my video next week.